Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to days 3 and 4 of Inktober 2022. Here are the hashtags that you can use. And again, I'm doing these on 2x2 size tiles that I colored with Lindy's Magicals and a natural sponge. And I'll have a link to that video in case you're interested. And as I've explained in a previous video, I'm doing 2 per day because I've started practicing in a journal that I have. And so day 3 is ISEA-U by Dory Peeters, CZT. And it's a very simple pattern, and there's different ways you could use it. As you can see, I put it kind of in a flower, different ways that you can embellish it. And let's go ahead and get started. So I have randomly picked a couple of tiles to use. For this series, I'm only using a black Micron, a blending stump, and a graphite pencil. And for this one, I'm going to show you okay, so for this one, I'm just going to show a few different ways that you can do this. She calls it ISEA-U because it ends up looking kind of like an eye in the center. So make just an oblong shape like that. And then we're going to turn it and put that same shape in the center. Okay, so there definitely looks like an eye. And then there's just different ways that you could embellish around it. We could do like a sparkle when you leave an opening there in the center. It's sometimes called a sparkle. Okay, I'm going to turn that and do it on the other side. So you're just leaving a little opening between your stripes for your aura. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it and add, I'm going to call it football shape. That's what it reminds me of, as a football, an American football. And then just going to add little auras on each side. And then I'm going to turn it and put one more in the center. And fill that one in. And another little aura on each side. Okay. So let's do another one coming out in this direction. Okay, so we'll start the same on each one. I'm going to turn it and put another little football shape in the center. And then this time I'm going to go ahead and just put the regular auras or stripes, however you want to call them. Okay. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of hatching in every other stripe, which just is another way of adding kind of a sparkle toward the center. Okay. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. I've moved my camera, so hopefully it keeps in focus. It's not quite in my way like it was before. So I'm just adding several auras on the side, and then a little bit of hatching in every other stripe. Okay. And turn it. Repeat in the center. And the list of the patterns that came from Stephanie Jennifer, she suggested that this could be used as a fragment. So you could put these inside squares on a border. Okay, turn. At the center. And then we can put another stripe on each side. So there's two options. Let's make another one here. Turn it. Add another little football in the center here. And I put my stripes again. So this is the basic way to draw these. It's just stripes on each side and then decide how you might want to embellish it. And I'm mostly using ideas that I saw from what's her name? From Dory Peeters. Okay. And then we're going to put some orbs in this one. This one also. And then you can, if you have some white showing between these orbs, you can kind of fill that in. And then what they did on the other, let's just go ahead and fill in this tip. All depends on how many stripes you end up with. No mistakes. Just embellish it the way that you want to. Okay. And go to the center. We'll do the same thing. Some orbs in this one. And a little bit there at the tip. Okay. And one more. Okay. Turn it. And the same shape in the center. And then on this one, she just darkened the tip. Hmm. So we're going to turn it and do the same thing here in the center. Darken the tip. Do the same thing here. And I'm going to go ahead and darken that very center. And then you could go ahead and embellish this however you want. I think I would probably add some little fescues. I'm trying to make these be monotangles, but I think tipple and fescue to me are freebies that you can add to embellish your patterns. Okay, I like that. Now for shading, I would simply add shading along the edges of each of these little pods. And I'm not putting the graphite right on top of my hatching. I'm just going to put it between. I have found it can kind of dull it a little bit. And then I'm just going to push that in toward the center, but I'm not going to go all the way to the center on these. All right. Same thing on, okay. Already got the graphite there. Let's bring that in. And you can go in and add, you know, some shading here in the center also. But since that's kind of small, I'm not going to go really big as far as how much graphite I put. All right, same thing on this edge. And the center. And then soften up. Same with this one. Like I say, it's a simple shape, so it's pretty much the same thing on each one of these as far as the shading. I'm going to do this one just a little bit darker than the others. And then I want to make sure I leave that sparkle open in the center. So I'm pulling this graphite in just a little bit more. Oh, sorry, there's an ant. I was being attacked. Sorry. Okay, big ant on my laptop. All right. So that is ISEA-U. And the next one is Souk. And let's go back to my book. And Souk is by Steph Kiefhaber, and she's a CZT. And it's a very pretty border. And here I was seeing how it would work on a 2x2 size. So very simple. Let me show you just quickly on this how we're gonna do the basic part of the pattern. We do just C shape like that. And again, again, again. Go as far as you want. I'm going to go ahead and stop. Well, I'm going to go ahead and come up on that one. And then what you do is come back in the opposite direction. Okay, so we're going to come down and we're going to match that point. It's like we're mirroring it. Okay, and then we're going to come out and we're leaving like a little diamond shape in there. And I do struggle to get these even, but it's okay. And then you could end it with a little diamond there. Okay. And then you pick one of these. We're going to do this for every other one. But we're going to come up from the sides of that little diamond point and make like a little petal. Skip that one. Come on, back down and skip that one. Okay. And then we're going to do that on the other side to the ones that are opposite. Every other one. Okay. And then from these tips, she does an aura that comes down to that center point. An aura that comes down, come back to this one, do an aura. Same thing here. We're going on the opposite sides of these little diamond shapes. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing on this other side. Start at the top. Your little aura comes down here. Aura. Okay. And then where this little part comes down, we're going to add a line that goes toward that point. Okay, same thing on this side. Here. And then the other thing that she does is you could add another little diamond or something inside of this. Okay. That's a little bit sloppy, but again, I don't do things very perfectly. I try, but it doesn't happen. Okay, so then there's different ways that you can shade that. And so I'm just going to go diagonally on this. So I'm going to start up here and I'm going to make my little curves, my little C shapes. Okay. And then I'm going to come from the other side. Come around until I meet up opposite of that other little spike. I think this one would take some practice or maybe some little guidelines to get it to look just right. All right, so there's the basic part. And so I'm going to go up from this one and do, it's almost like a flame. And this one would be coming up this way. And that one would have gone up that way. I'll turn it over. Again, I think this would make a really pretty border. right, so now we're going to do those auras from the top. Come down and meet up at that diamond. Same thing on this side. Okay. Same thing here. Do your little aura to that diamond and to here. And then where we came down, we're going to have that connect at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to flip it and then do the same thing on this side. And we'll pretend that the other one was over here. Go ahead and put that in. Add your line there. And this one, we'll just go from here. And that would have been our aura. And add that connection there. And I haven't tried it this way before, but I am going to fill this in a little bit more and just add, let's try leaving just a little bit inside of our little diamond. You could leave it totally open. You could put a dot in the center. This kind of allows me to fix this shape a little bit if I want to. So by doing that, I got just a little bit better shape on that one. Okay, and I'm going to add just a little bit of hatching where these meet down in here on the edges. On the tops. Whoops, sorry. So I just added a little bit of hatching. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of graphite there and on these lines. So where I put the hatching, I'm just going to add a little bit of graphite to blend and a little bit of graphite on that line. Okay. And then use my blending stump to just soften that in each area. Yeah, the only thing about this blending stump is I've used it so much, the tip is kind of blunt. I need to cleaned it up and see if I could sharpen it a little bit. You can do that on sandpaper or a nail file. Okay, and then in my practice, I put another aura around the whole thing. So let's do that. And on the other side. I've heard Maria say often that when in doubt, add an aura. And I just wanted to add a little bit more to this. So from here, if you're using that on a tile, you could add, all sorts of things out here. I'm not going to put any more on that one, but there you go. That is Souk by Steph Kiefhaber. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, but there we go. There's day 3 and 4. And this was day 1 and 2. So there's day 1 through 4. And like I said in my introductory video, I'm not necessarily going to put these in order when I put them on the 12 by 12 tile, but it kind of looks cool how that meets up. We'll see. Just kind of mix it and match it and see how it goes. All right. Days 1 through 4 are done. I hope you enjoyed it. And please hit the like button, the subscribe. And I now have a thing on YouTube where you can do a super thanks or just enjoy it and come back next time. Thanks. I'll see you again. Bye.